はい。こんにちは。私はBO1 の代表、Chia-huei Tsengと思いますね。BO1 のミッションはそれですね。結構大きいです。メンバー人数も多いです。So today, my goal is to introduce myself to you and then talk a few projects that we are working on, and then maybe we can stimulate some collaboration. 2 weeks ago, the group members had a kickoff meeting in Kyushu University, and this is how it looks like. And then we realized that we are so different. Everyone has a very different expertise, so it will be exciting and challenging to come to this very coherent project. So today, we have 2 members, Professor Isoda and me, who will share a bit about the research from 2 members. And then in the future, we hope to have other members to also talk about what they do. So a little bit about myself. Before I moved to Japan 10 years ago, I worked in several places, including Taiwan. That's where I graduated and got my training in psychology. And then I went to the United States and studied cognitive psychology. And after I got my degree, I moved back to Asia, and I first worked in Taiwan and then Hong Kong before I joined Tohoku University in Japan. And the experience in Japan is very special to me because before Japan, I worked in Department of Psychology. But after I joined the Tohoku University, I started to work with engineers. And then I become a faculty member in engineering school. 3 years ago, I was invited to join a research center called Cyber and Real, ICT, Interdisciplinary Research Center. And this is a center that wants to bring people with different research background and to develop and study how we can break the wall or the barrier when promoting people to communicate in the real space, like right now, and then with the cyberspace, like a lot of million people are watching us online right now. So in this research center, we have psychologists, we have engineers, and then we have different kind of collaborator, artists, and so on. So we want to know how we can bring in non-verbal communication information and to enrich the design of the next generation design. So let me show you a little bit about the research center.
(人間コミュニケーション科学研究グループでは、非言語情報が対人コミュニケーションを促進、または阻害する仕組みを研究しています。非言語情報とは何でしょうか？
For example, in Japan, people are very sensitive about the environment. When we try to interact with people, the space, the time, and the things in between all influence how well it goes. For example, the body gesture, the eye gaze, and then a lot of cues all affect how we communicate with each other.
私たちの学際的かつ国際的な研究チームは、心理学、脳科学、そして計算モデル化の手法やツールを活用しています。私たちの研究の目的は、得られた知見を情報通信技術の設計に応用し、人々の生活の質の向上に貢献することです。
はい、そういう感じです。So this is the group that I belong to. Yeah, so in my group, I study nonverbal cues. and then how that affect or improve interpersonal communication, and then most importantly, how does that affect the well-being? So this ties very well within this co-presence research group. So today I want to select a few things that I have been working on and then share with you. So this has been my research career path. I started by learning visual perception and attention, and I go beyond vision to study how vision works with auditory body senses, and then how that can be used in terms of interpersonal communication. So I study how behaviorally and how brain synchrony helps with this topic. For example, this is a study that I did with some students. We have two people who didn't know each other in advance to walk side by side. And then we recorded their walking steps. So they think they are talking and being recorded, but what we actually care is about their steps. So once we recorded the footsteps, then we can calculate how synchronized their footsteps is to each other. And then we realized for strangers, these synchronized footsteps actually help them with each other's social impression. And we also found the people, older people or female individuals tend to have higher synchrony with the strangers. So even we are not aware of it, even we are not intentionally doing it, but having a synchronized footsteps is helpful. And we are also curious about the brain. What happens to brain when two people are synchronized or are engaged? So we study a phenomenon called flow. And this is what we do. We have two participants in the research lab and play video game together. They have to do the game together. Okay, so one person doing one side. And right now, the music match the drops. And if you're paying attention, people are bringing to the flow easily. And we also have another condition, the music mismatch, so that it's difficult to enter the flow. It's very disturbing, and people are doing it but unhappy about it. So we compare in those two conditions what happens in these two people's brain. We record them by EEG and then analyze the brain regions during the game. And we were able to identify a brain network that's activated when two people are in the flow together. And that network is not just a social relation. It's also not individual flow. It only happens when two people are together in the flow. So I think that's a very interesting brain signature that we were able to detect. And during the pandemic, a lot of our classes move online, and that makes professors very difficult to know if the students are engaged or they're bored or if they actually need help. So we developed a study to record the student facial expression during the online lecture. And we used machine learning to figure out their psychological states. And we were able to, using a few key parts of the facial expression to know if they're engaged or if they actually need help. So this is an interesting application that may help education in terms of developing helpful tools in online communication. So from now on, there are a few things that I'm very interested in and maybe able to work with some of you. So I work with some dancers. They are contact joint improviser. So they dance together without pre-program. So this is very challenging, but also very interesting because they have to observe the partner, observe the environment, and observe the moment before they act to respond. And we bring them into this motion capture lab and record their dancing. And this is one little study. After they dance together, we give them a thing. They are dancing around the concept of ma. Ma is the Japanese concept that involves space, time. So these two people are talking or interacting with each other around this tema called Ma. And this is about 3 minutes. After that, we recorded the movement and we showed it to people and then have them to watch the video and tell us, do you think these two people are dancing together? Because even two people share one space, one stage, they could be dancing by themselves. So dancing together is a psychological feeling. So the participant watched the video and rated the moment they feel they're really dancing together. They are a team. And this is how it looked like. We have a group of Japanese students, international students. So you can see the black line is the moment of togetherness. Then we also tell them, this is actually dancing around Ma. Which moment do you think this matches the Ma in your impression? And this is a red curve. So it's very interesting for Japanese participants, the moment of togetherness and then the moment of Ma look more consistent than the international student. But this international student also know what is Ma, because when they learn Japanese language, the teachers emphasize and then mention about this. But then the consistence look very different. So this is an interesting study with dancers. And we are also very interested to study rakugo, which is a Japanese style of storytelling. It's very important for a professional storyteller to control the pause, the timing. Yeah. And so we are very interested to compare this English rakugo and Nihongo rakugo, because how they use the pause, how to generate the laugh, seems to be very different. Yeah, so the concept of silence in temporal or space can be studied in different kind of Japanese art form and using different kind of tools. And so I think this may be something that some of you will be interested to discuss and think more. And then more bringing this communication into multiple people. Now we are in the middle of a study to see how we can understand this group of people's psychological state by recording their facial movements or analyzing their nonverbal behavior, including their body movement or the silence. So this will be something that in the next few months and years, so we wanted to see if bringing more sensory feedback, more modality will be a good idea to help people in terms of communication. And then once we know that, then we can implant it into different kind of design. So I have some time, so maybe I'll show you a
HANA range.
Ikebana project.
Augmented reality support system for daily Ikebana practice and well-being.
So this is an AR
Ikebana
system.
is a centuries-old Japanese art of flower arrangement that values negative space, asymmetry, and harmony with nature, and takes years of guided practice to master. Yet modern learners face challenges. Teachers are not always available, and self-practice makes it difficult to judge spatial balance or receive feedback. To address these challenges, building on a formative study that highlighted both needs and opportunities, we developed HANA Arrange, an augmented reality system that supports independent practice. We built it on Apple Vision Pro for its accurate hand and eye interaction and clear pass-through, enabling seamless control and delicate visual overlays for Ikebana. The main features of the system are: 1, overlaying the axes of principal stems and diagrams to guide arrangements; 2, providing feedback on arrangements through Q&A powered by retrieval augmented generation and the GPT API; 3, offering side-by-side comparisons between real arrangements and self-captured images or teacher examples; 4, including a help menu with textbook explanations and teacher contact information; and 5, enabling learners to take notes during practice. We evaluated HANA Arrange through 2 studies. In study 1, we compared...
Okay, so this is the system that's being developed, but this is still very different from the real Ikebana class. In the real Ikebana class, usually you have one teacher and several classmates. And in this system, it's alone, you and the AI only. So we wanted to improve the feeling of engaging Ikebana by providing maybe virtual classmates or virtual teacher. So this is another project that may be conducted in the future. So that concludes my part, and I'm going to invite Isoda Sensei to continue his exciting part about non-human study.